Okay, so the first thing is comments. Why do we use comments? Well, for two reasons. Number one, when you start writing rather long programs, it gets really confusing to know which bit does what, especially if you leave it and you come back to it a little while later. You can't remember the thought process you went through to get to this point, or you might not remember what you called a variable, or if you didn't call it a particularly good name, or you can't remember what it does or how it relates to something else like a function in your program, everything gets a little bit woolly and confusing. So that's the first reason, because it helps you as the programmer. Secondly, if somebody else needs to look at your code because you're working with somebody else, or maybe you've released that code so that other people can improve on it, or you've released it because you want to show somebody how something works, you might be teaching somebody else what the code means, for example. How do they know if you haven't put any comments describing what's going on in there? So it's helpful for you and it's helpful for others to understand and explain what your comment means. Now, if you're used to other programming languages, you might have seen comments that begin, for example, with /star, or you might see // if you used HTML, you know that comments begin like this with kind of open brackets and so on. In Python, you just use a £, or as what the Americans call a hashtag. So if I want to write a comment, you can see all I've got to do is type a hashtag, and then at this point my text goes grey and I know that this is a comment. Python ignores these in the sense that it doesn't try and understand them as code. If I just type something without that, you can immediately see it's beginning to think that I'm writing some actual code here, and it's recognizing is as a command word, and so it's making it purple. It's recognizing this and a as text, and so it's leaving it black. So make sure that when you are using comments, you use them well. You are explaining exactly what is going on in your comments, and you are using that hashtag at the beginning of your comments. Clearly, don't go crazy. You don't want to comment every single line, but you want your comments to be descriptive enough so that when you come back to it later, you've got some idea about what's going on here. So that's the first thing, comments.